And it was absolutely electric, and I think it was the billing that we had hoped for from some of the games that were a bit more lopsided yesterday.
Now starting off here today, at the early action, it's going to be default here run by Rise, and they're just probing what they can probe. Spike is down by attacker spawn, so you can tell they're going to be playing this one slow. Nothing too special going off yet. You can see the Viper screen is set up from TSM on the A side, and that's going to slow down any pressure on this side. Boys setting up those cages, and he's got them out. Now he's ready to obstruct the line of sight as an A execute comes out, if it comes out. But again, that is not definitive just yet. Both of these teams just sizing each other up, trying to figure out what they're doing.
And mid's being held quite heavily right now. 3 lines of sight from TSM, all concerned with the same area. It's going to be an A take, as you talked about, though the spike might be a bit of a distraction. It's the hands of Poised. He's accompanying Superman all the way on the other side of the map. First kill is going to come in. TSM doubling up on these numbers, continuing to pay dividends on this first pistol round. It's going to leave the 2 remaining members of Rise to try and take B site all on their lonesome. Now, while we say that, it's Bang to defend against the push that'll come on in. Wardell, he's called into action, and from above manages to take out Poise, leaving Superman in a 1v4. He's done for. Bang takes it. And round number 1 goes in favor of TSM.
All right, so a couple things. Obviously, I like the way that Rise plays that. That was a fake or an attempted one. Very slow early default. They set themselves up for the late flank into blue. Unfortunately for Rise, the TSM players on A, number 1, were extremely successful in rebuffing the fake. An easy hold there for them. They put up the kills. Number 2, TSM does not over-rotate, so they're expecting the fake, and then they're expecting the second punch coming to B. It does come out, and TSM is ready for it. Props there to TSM, and Bang in particular, for not overstepping on the rotate.
This looks like it's a bit of an inversion now from Rise, as Spike is down over towards A, 2 different members of their team looking towards B, and they will do probing, as you talked about it, probing to see exactly what the defense has. And, well, for TSM, the defense is very aggressive. Leviathan will take point on this with Bang backing him up. 2 kills for Leviathan. Still staring deep into the heart of where that push was. And again, the last 2 members of Rise are isolated over towards B.
But this time, Parker, they do not have the spike. And that's a particular tragedy because B was open for a period. Now, of course, you still have the Cypher utility there from Hazed holding up the B push. But opportunity presented, even if it was slight, and opportunity missed for Rise. Could be a probe over by mid. There's Neptune trying to see what he could see, and he will find a bullet from Wardell. That's the final kill for Sub Rosa over on B. Once again, a nice hold from TSM. I want to point out that push through the Nebula on A main, 3 players from Rise. Not a single point of damage done to TSM. And I know, of course, they've got pistols, but they just didn't hit a single shot. The blind was really rough.
There's Flawless, and then there's Take No Damage Flawless.
At least on the initial, yeah.
Yeah. So, all told, I mean, things go according to plan. Won't be a full buy from TSM. They're going to try to thrifty this one. Instead, the guns will come out for Rise. Their focus is on mid this time. So they've changed up where the spike is going to go on all 3 occasions thus far. It hasn't paid dividends through the first 2 rounds. Hoping for the Rise fans that they'll actually be able to do something with this one in comparison to the first 2 rounds.
Now, thanks to the dog, they did just find out that events are clear. So there is potential for Rise to make a play. But as we're seeing right now, they are still very cautious on the way that they're playing this. Rise are not fully committing to anything. They're not trying to seize upon opportunities as they're presented. They are sizing up every scenario almost to a point where it might become debilitating.
Gonna try to flash out Leviathan at the top of ramp. They do just that. Audio Q could possibly come in, but no, Leviathan's there on the flank if he decides to move a muscle. Instead, Rise is going to try to take this A site. And they're in. They've got it all and everything that they want. So for TSM, they'll eventually be in this post plan. A spike is going down. Leviathan will hear that sound, and then the thud confirms exactly what we knew. Everybody's still alive, by the way. And with the exception of Shanks having taken some damage earlier on, nobody was really in a bad spot. Leviathan once again starts the killing. He'd done that in the second round. He'll do it again this time. Sabrosa's at his side. 2 down, 4 ride. They'll continue to fall. Another for Leviathan, but Neptune is there to stop them. Out goes one of those paint shells, but it's him in a 1v3, and they collapse on him. TSM have the post plant perfectly in their clutches, and they'll go up 3-0.
Well, you said it, Parker. Everyone's still alive. When that spike gets planted, And you really have to commend TSM for not overstepping their bounds. Lesser teams would have tried to force through the nebulas. They would have tried to initiate on solo engagements, but no. I mean, we actually just saw in the interview before this match started, Rosa talking about how, you know, sometimes when you have your players not doing their job, not in the right place, and things just aren't connecting, you can kind of psych yourself out. Well, TSM clearly not in that place right now, as they set up perfectly for that retake. They had 2 people coming from main, trying to retake on the flank watch that was poised, and then once you get that collapse, now your ramp players are activated, and you've got a crossfire on the other attacker playing by main. Easy retake on the flank, and really there's nothing that Rise could do to stop this now from TSM. Well done, well put together.
A big gamble on that eco's now hurt Rise, and what will likely be a punishing one for TSM. Leviathan on those opening picks. The desk highlighted Wardell, but it's Leviathan to make his mark so far through this matchup. Downfall 2 members of each team, though, so it's far more even than you'd think. Reunited with the operator in his hand. That's a pick from Wardell up top. And now Rise will try to rotate through vents. The last 2 members. It's a narrow advantage for TSM at the moment with still a minute to go. Intel from Hazed, and there goes the ice wall. Down goes that intel that we talked about. The cam for the Cypher, no longer available, so Hazed will look towards screens. Try to hold a drop when it comes in from Rise. They've been pinged away, so he knows that they're coming. Unspotted, good trigger discipline. Can only connect with 1, though. Derek walks away from that one with 85 HP. Finally, out goes the tracker, and Wardell and Bang will need to be the ones to stop this, as it's another post-plant this time around. Well, there's not quite 10 people alive in the server, just 3. Derek's taking a beating. He'll play by elbow. Watching towards screens. TSM up top. We've got a line of sight on him. Bang knows he's there. And wait. Wardell scouts out to see if he's going to be even closer where the spike is. If Rise looks the wrong way, if Derek looks the wrong way, that's it. And a nice shot from Bang will clean it up. TSM yet to drop a round here.
I mean, you got to try and take an isolated 1v1 there. If you're Derek, you got to push the fight. Unfortunately, just couldn't land the shot onto Bang. Not even a single bullet once again. Again, the patience for TSM coming through there. Hayes was in a great spot to get the cross. These 2 kills here from Leviathan to start off the round. That, just right off the bat, you're putting Rise at such a disadvantage. I mean, it really was them trying to fight back from being down bad through most of that round due to that initial entry. And it begs the question, Parker, where is the utility by vents? Why are we not using our nebulas if we're, or Supermen, or any kind of disruption on vents if we're going to be pushing mid towards male? This round, Leviathan's going to drop the Viper's Pit early on, so that's your mid control basically in the back.
And if you see the positioning right now of Rise, they had 2 stacked up towards mid. Neptune was thinking about doing something with that as Shank sends out one of those flashes but doesn't find or connect with anything that he wants. Leviathan thinks he has a read on it, and firing blind, I don't think he knows how close he is to being able to tag one of them. It's poised now to assist over towards mid, while the rest of Rise's focus is over on A, and they'll come to a head against Bang, who holds that tight angle.
Be careful about the gravity wells and the Nova Pulse potential there on the stars that pre-placed here for Bang. Might be ready for the entry, we'll see. Oh, as it looks like, might be the all coming out here from Shanks, and there's the Seekers.
Perfectly placed. Bang will have to contend against all of them. He's blind, gunned down by Shanks, and now Rise will continue their assault towards Heaven. Another Bang will go out. Sabros is the one to deal with that. Shanks has the control that he wants up top in Heaven, while the rest of the team is wiping out TSM. Wardell and Leviathan in a do-or-die situation, looking to try to maintain and extend this perfect streak that they're on of 4 rounds. 30 seconds remaining, and the control that Rise has is good. 3rd time's a charm in this post plant right now, but, well, it's dire for TSM. Leviathan's been hitting his shots all throughout. One on the retake. We'll look for more. Side by side with that ice wall. He's going to have to swing, and he misses. There's 2 different eyes from Rise looking at that one spot. Wardell now in a 1v4, and my goodness, Rise looks like they're sitting pretty. So Wardell will stay in mid, and he'll save the op unless somebody from Rise can find him. Doesn't look like they're going to try much, but Rise, they get themselves on the board.
Obviously, it's ideal for Wardell to save the operator. I don't know if he's going to get away with it. You can see he's trying to hide his barrel there. Operator has a very long barrel, and he's actually, it looks like he is successful in pointing the barrel at the floor. They do overlook him in med. I think they even know that he's, yeah, he must know at this point. That's great for Wardell. So, but talking about that round, really great entry there from Shanks, especially using the Guiding Light and the Seekers to great effect. I think both of his Guiding Lights hit perfectly. There's the first one, and he gets that free entry. It doesn't even matter that the Gravity Well is out there. He just walks right through it. Second one, again, that's a blind opponent. Sabrosa can't really do anything there. And Rise now have full sight control, so massive props to Shanks for that. He even had the Trailblazer still in his pocket for the post plant, which is great use of utility.
It looked like Sabrosa wanted to swing from the top of ramp to assist as well, but he got chased off when those Seekers came out, and unfortunately for him, Bang fell a little bit earlier than they wanted, and that was it. They could continue their push onward, and then the flash was ultimately what sealed the deal. Good utility usage, and you talked about this. Why didn't we see more of that from Rise earlier on? They find their footing in that round. And we look towards round number 6, and it's mid-control for Rise, as they will look like they're setting up potentially for B, but they've been split up quite heavily thus far. Spike has been dropped over by Ramen, and they'll have to retrieve it at some point.
So Leviathan has been playing by Vents for a lot of this this match here, and it's actually switched. Hayes is now playing it, but he's playing very passive, as you can see, far back, just waiting for someone to drop, and that has allowed Rise control of top mid, which gives them a lot more, I guess you could say, of a crossfire potential on site, and that's what they're going to do. They're going to go ahead and ult in.
Oh no, a bit of a misplay there from Neptune. TSM hits their marks twice in a row. Shanks trades one back. Sabrosa up top has a potential second. Wardell's the one credited with that one, and Superman very quickly in a 1v4. It was a quick push from Rise, but unfortunately it doesn't go anywhere, and Superman's just got way too many targets. They only let Rise get one round, no streak for them, as TSM takes the very next round right back, and their lead is back to 4 rounds.
Yeah, I think Neptune kind of bumped his head on the ceiling there. The satchels did not work out great for him, and that set him up to not get a lot out of that showstopper. Unfortunate, but it does happen. Sometimes your blast pack placement isn't ideal. So Rise, now spending a little bit on that round in terms of their economy. Obviously, they are not in a great spot right now, so they're not going to be able to bring full rifles. And if they lose this one, then it gets even worse. Wardell, very aggressive on B main, trying to get the pick that is not there. As you can see, it's a safe play here from Derek, as he's just holding the lane.
And that's a shot that Wardell is very capable of hitting. So if Derek wants to continue to tease that with that little jiggle peek that he does, the jump around the corner for information, well, try as best as you can. Most of the focus from Rise right now is either over towards B or at mid. You've got Shanks waiting for the cage to go down, and Leviathan will meet his doom. He knows that the Viper's there, but it's a missed shot. Standing next to Shanks is Superman, and they can continue to push towards A if they need to. They'll run right into Hayes, though, who's sitting, waiting very patiently. Leviathan, who was over at screens, is now crept up. So TSM at least knows that there's some more presence than a single person, and they'll try to fight back from Heaven all the while. Rise has now moved over towards Heaven. I don't know if they saw Sabrosa jumping up or not, but they'll take Heaven control.
Wardell's committed to A. This is working out right now for Rise. They have every advantage on B if they just commit to the execute.
And there you go. Final 30 seconds. Ice Wall will go up, and they'll now go to charge on in. Seekers tossed out from Sabrosa. Flash popping. Oh, can't connect. No. Derek is the better one in that duel, but Bang is there for insurance. 2 big kills traded off. Supermen, Shanks, they're in the site, and they'll need to get that spike down. They're running out of time. Are they going to be able to do it? Poised? Well, it seems like he will. With just 7 seconds left, the utility usage and then the objective play from Rise is good. A 3v3. The divide is up. Supermen playing off of it. Need we remind you that you can't hear anything on either side. The positioning right now that we see out of Superman and Poised, depending on where the re-entry comes from TSM, they can potentially capitalize in the midst of the smoke. Wardell takes down one. He's done for. Superman picks up his 3rd kill, and Leviathan will need to play the hero. Does he have information? Spike is getting close to the point of no return, but no, it's Shanks from the back with the operator. Rise takes yet another round. It's still 5-2 for TSM, but at least Rise, well, they're putting some rounds on the board.
Wow, what a round. Rise successful on the fake out. We saw Wardell rotating through defender spawn, going all the way over to A. He even second guessed it for a little while. It looked like he was going to come back to B, but no, he committed to A, expecting that to be the push. Then when the B push did come out from Rise, this time around, they made it work for them. They were lethal on the initial execution. It got a little bit hairy there when Bang was getting kills on the flank from main, but that was cleaned up quick enough, and the Cosmic Divide from Supermen was perfect to hold that post plant.
Oh, Neptune doesn't realize how close he came. The tracking from Wardell in mid, just a little bit too slow. Zoom on over to Leviathan now. He'll hold by A, unfortunately. Leviathan, well, maybe comically baits out Hazed on that one. At least Leviathan has the information, and Levi can push up. There's a tripwire there. I don't know if he's going to see it or not, be able to take care of it. If he does, though, there'll be a sound that'll go out, and Rise will likely know that there's somebody on the flank. Focus from Rise is now shifted. It was early on over towards A. That's where the first pick came onto Hazed, but now Rise is rotated towards B.
This has been called, though, obviously, because we're seeing Leviathan so far pushed up. Now he's in attack respawn, so it's well known that this is a B take. But actually, they could wrap. As you can see, Neptune is in A heaven, and the spike's going to follow him there.
Sabrosa just firing blindly into the smoke, and Leviathan's on the flank. Do they know he's there? He takes down one, but Derek swats him away. Immediately, Shanks is brought back from the dead by the Sage of Derek. Spike being planted. Plenty of time in the corner. And that's A. The entire focus from TSM has been over towards B, and right under their noses, they were baited out. Neptune will now try to hold. Nice shot from Wardell to try and retake from defender spawn. He's going to have to do a little bit more work with that operator. It's a 3v4 right now, favoring Rise. Poised could take them down. He'll continue to narrow the numbers, and there they all go. Everybody from TSM falls down like dominoes, and Rise puts 2 in a row.
Oh, that really was a bait that time, Parker. I don't know if it was intentional or not, but what we just saw there was Leviathan pushing up far, deep into A main. He's getting towards attack respawn, and Leviathan, obviously, in that scenario, he's going to call, hey, guys, A is fine. They're going up for a B push. There was nobody by A main. So what happened is TSM hard rotated to B. They had heavily stacked up on it, and they were ready to deal with any kind of B push. But Rise detected that vents were clear, and they went for the ropes play. They pushed all the way into A heaven, and they're like, hey, we could just walk in to site. Leviathan's all the way in our spawn. This is a freebie. Then they also stop that flank from Leviathan. It gets worse and worse as it goes on for TSM. Nice play from Rise.
I will say I really appreciate from Rise how they're not committing wholly to one site. We've seen a number of teams now on Split where they'll stack up 4 or 5 on one site and they'll hard commit, and when things don't work, they just continue to ram their head against a wall. With Rise, there's this fluidity, and they'll keep somebody over towards A, they'll keep some towards mid, they'll try to hold that map control for as long as they can. Unfortunately for Sabrosa, he gives his position away, and that map control that we were talking about by Rise nets a kill onto the sky. Is Neptune still watching in this spot? Up next is Hazed. You'll see that tripwire go out, and he'll try to blast away. Rather, the tripwire is from Poised, and, well, the better cipher in this case is on the side of the red team. Continuing on, Rise take out 2 more. They're all falling, like I said, like dominoes, and it will continue. This is a long streak as it's banging a 1v5. TSM's already got a flawless on the board. It's time for Rise to be able to put this one up. The economy being what it was, unsurprising that TSM are coming out like robber barons, but there's an opportunity for Poise to maybe try something. He'll test his reflexes, but Neptune says no thank you. 3 kills, and that'll be the round. Rise now only 1 away as TSM are in trouble.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with your observation there, Parker. The fluidity from Rise has been excellent as this game has gone on. It looked like it was causing them problems at the beginning, but now that Rise has found their footing, they really are, like, they know what they're getting themselves up to. So it's going to be a tactical timeout here for TSM. Bit of a reset. I think this is the right time. The momentum is shifted, and now you're at the point where, okay, TSM's economy is, not exactly in shambles. They're going to be able to buy this round, but if they lose, things get really difficult. So yeah, appropriate time to just pause and consider your move.
Yeah, I think this is as good time as any. Rise seemed to have some stumbles early on, and TSM had a couple commanding rounds. Obviously, that's heavily impacted by that first round breaking in TSM's favor. There's momentum that carries over through that, especially with the way that the economy system works. So you expect TSM to be able to do that. But after that, Rise now, they're confident. They're not falling into these traps. They're using their utility well. It was almost like when you asked that question, why are you not trying to flash out Leviathan? Why are you not using your utility on these engages? And guess what? They started doing that. They started doing it very effectively. And the moment that Rise seemed to get a temperature check on a particular site, they were very quick to fall off and go somewhere else. And I know we already said it. It's a great word. We can say it many, many times, but that fluidity is so far what has helped Rise through those last 3 rounds and 4 of the last 5.
Yeah, it's especially apparent. It doesn't even seem like some of these plays that Rise are making are necessarily planned. They're just adapting. Well, early on here, we saw Wardell previously trying to go for the pick by B main. This time, it's Shanks on that Sky operator. If he can make it work, then he can make it work. And Wardell, meanwhile, is pushed up by A, trying to fish for a pick. Not going to find anything just yet. There are two players here. It's Superman and Poised. Yeah. Now, once again, the spike is dropped in advance. Now, that suggests to us what's going to happen. Obviously, TSM doesn't know, but this is going to be an A execute. Now, we were talking about how Rise can change on the fly, but when they drop that spike, typically they are the type of, they're going for the type of execute where it's a full stack up, like the one that you were discussing earlier that we see so often on this map.
Rise have also been very patient on a number of these rounds, so much so that it's, there's 10 seconds left until they can get that spike down, which might be some cause for concern from them. Wardell now will see the push come in, though. No more patience for Rise. They decide to take action, and it's Hayes to mow them all down. Neptune trades back, but still TSM, unfortunately for their fans, they're trailing in numbers. Missed opportunity from Wardell as he'll now retreat. And spamming right through the smoke in front of screens is Superman. They've got control of the site, so with that, Rise will try to get the spike down. Eric now stopping Vent's play with that ice wall going out, and his attention is over towards screens. Does TSM still have a numbers advantage on this one? But they'll have to do what they've done a couple times thus far, which is successfully retake. Their numbers advantage continues to grow. Leviathan finds one. Neptune and Wardell inches away from coming to blows. The smoke will clear. Wardell sees him, tags him, takes him out. Superman in a 1v4, a 1v3, 1v2. No, it's a 1v3 that becomes a 3v0. And once again, TSM on the retake are strong. Timeout seemed to work, and they'll take their 6th round.
And you know why they're strong, Parker? It's because of plays like the one we saw from Wardell. Obviously, that two-piece for Hayes as he's standing at the top of ramp, managing to spray those players down on the initial entry. You're about to see it in just a second, likely in the replay package. There it is. That's huge because that sets the tone for the retake later. But if Wardell hadn't gotten out because of his great game sense, yeah, he's missing his shots with the operator, but if he hadn't gotten out, then you're looking at a man even split, actually, on the man count, and then the retake is made that much harder. So real props to Wardell getting out of there, getting that one kill as well by screens, and that just, it makes the job of the rest of his team so much easier. Good use of the Cloudburst. Now, by mid, it's going to be early control for Rise, and they're stacking up the utility heavy towards B Heaven.
Oh no, again, Neptune just not good enough with that showstopper. Tried earlier, failed, and TSM swat away this aggressive take from Rise. We talked about their patience. Well, they decided to do a shoe at this time and go for broke. Unfortunately for them, TSM read them like a book. Has Subrosa's position been spotted, by the way? A pop flash is going to go out, and like that, Hazed and Banger down for the count. Subrosa's missed an opportunity, so instead he'll be posted up on Heaven. He's got the attention of Derek. Shanks turning around. Wardell's good on these shots, and he'll continue to hit them as much as he wants. Spike gets planted, a 3v2 for TSM. Once again, another post-plant situation. Ultimates will come out. The divide from Superman will try to stop them as a heal from Derek comes in. Superman now creeping up a little bit more. He's going to need to watch left and the right. Doesn't understand where they're playing in hell. He might turn his back to it. Out goes a flash. Subrosa connects. A bit of missed aim, but he'll end up outdueling Superman. Leaving Derek in a 1v3. A beautiful shot, but Subrosa shuts him down. That should be an easy defuse as well, and TSM will take their 2nd in a row, going up to 7-4.
So that was interesting. Shanks and Superman tried to actually position themselves, or actually I believe it was Derek, but they tried to position themselves in the post plant off the Cosmic Divide so that they didn't have to solo hold each lane. So you got two different sides of that pillar push that you're going to be expecting from the enemy, and whichever one it happens to be, you want to be stacked up so you have the advantage in man count. Because of that kill from Subrosa, that opened up Derek on the flank there, and it made it really hard for that south side of pillar to be held. So the Cosmic Divide could have been the saving grace there for Rise, but not so. Well played from TSM, once again retaking. That has been, as we've mentioned before, one of the shining lights for TSM through this match.
So we continue onward. Nice shot from Wardell. Okay, immediately back away, soaring through the sky, but the classic is out. And that's like a clay pigeon. TSM right now sweeping through this Rise take, as now the final 2 members of Rise will head up to Heaven. Subrosa is up there, though. He can shut you down very effectively. Cage goes, spraying through it. A flawless to end the first half? Possibly. It's going to be Derek right now in a 1v5. What can he be able to pull off? A nice kill for him, but no, that's all she wrote. First half in the books. 8-4 TSM's your scoreline.
That's pretty rough there for Rise. Well played to TSM. I will say both of these teams, they are going to be better on defense for this map. So obviously TSM taking a slight advantage there, but I don't know. That scoreline, it's a little bit too askew, Parker.
I know TSM took that timeout and it seemed to make a world of difference, Michael, as they returned to that dominant form that we saw from them for the first couple rounds. But as much as we'd love to have more of this, we got a short break for you. So let's throw to that and then we'll be back in just a couple minutes with more TSM versus Rise.
The money in the bank. Hit you with the hit you with the bank. Hit you with the hit you with the 808. Hit you with the hit you with the 808. Bang to the break. Bang to the break. Money in the bank. Money in the bank.
All right, we are back. That first half was in the books. You can see on the top of your screen. If you don't have a visual reference point, it was 8-4 in favor of TSM. Rise Nation started on attack. This is TSM's map. A tactical timeout was taken by TSM, and since then they managed to overcome what was very quickly becoming a lopsided matchup for Rise when they started to win consecutive rounds back to back to back. But this time around, it's going to be TSM on attack, so let's see what they're capable of doing. They're going to go all in on A for the moment. A's is going to be all on his own watching mid, potentially for a push on in.
This is going to be definitely good control here by main for TSM, but they're actually going to back out of it, and it looks like they're going to go ahead and hit water. So slow rotate out of that commit, and they will leave Leviathan just in case they maybe want to... Oh, no. Okay, they're indecisive. They're not sure what they're doing here. They have managed to make Neptune rotate, though. As you can see, he's just coming through defender spawn, heading up to B heaven. So he's got that position in the bag now. Uh-oh, here comes the Trailblazer from Zeroza, and he's gonna get Superman, who actually overextended, which again prompts yet another rotate from Rise.
And very quickly, based off of that, TSM will try to take control from above. Shanks, one flash out, he gets a kill, but then it's immediately done for and traded right back. Poise, though, down below, he's the hero for this team, playing off of his cage. Turns around, beautiful shot from Hazed. Poise down, Neptune down, and it's Derek in a 1v2. It was going well for Rise as they had the control of the B site. Derek now from above. He's the high ground. Is it going to work? Nice shot, and he's going for two. He'll get them both. Derek cuts down Hazed and Sabroza. He's got dicey there for Rise, but they end up taking the very first pistol round of the second half.
Don't try it. And they did, but it didn't work out. Unfortunate for TSM. He needed to get that spike, obviously down, up above. Unfortunate that that's where it happened to drop. But, hey, that's the game. Well played to Derek, realizing the advantage that he had and just holding that spike to win out the first round of the second half. They really needed that. Rise not only get that money advantage, of course, moving forward, the credits will be higher, but also just a morale boost as they were down pretty bad out of the first half. I gotta say, though, TSM kind of played themselves. They way too quickly committed to that B push. They did have the fake on A and the rotate coming in from Rise, but because they were so quick to go into B heaven, Rise realized it was a double fake out, and they just rotated back, and it didn't even take them much time at all. Unfortunate for TSM, but obviously they can't have known that.
Leviathan and Neptune side by side. Leviathan has been so strong on this team in getting those opening picks. This time around, he'll be on the unfortunate receiving end of it. The part you don't want to be on. TSM's focus now in mid. Hayes will creep up all on his own. He's in garage. B main, whichever you'd like to call it. Ice wall's gonna break and Superman there. Spectre in hand, just narrowly misses out on Wardell. Blinded, but for a second, Wardell can't dash away quite fast enough. Rise are holding on to good control from above, and they're just wiping out TSM. Outmanned and outgunned. Sabroza with 50 HP. Flashed very briefly. Takes out one, all right, but no. Rise just throws bodies at the problem, and hey, a viable strategy in this one. First pistol round, and then the follow-up both go to Rise in the second half.
Very well played there from Rise, but of course you expect that to be their round. Really not a lot to talk about for TSM. They tried mid-pressure. It didn't work out, obviously. They're pushed over by B, so it was attempted to be a split push through B heaven and B main, and they just lost on all those fronts. But again, expected. Nothing too crazy going on. This time, they're going to be able to bring the rifles, and as you can see, we still have 3 Spectres and even a Sheriff being brought from Rise. So now TSM are in the driver's seat. This could be the difference maker round if they're able to take it.
TSM tried this exact same strategy. It did give them the third round when they broke out in that very first half. TSM trying the same fluidity that we saw at Rise, but they're far more focused in where they're going to apply that effort. Right now, you've got 4 bodies from TSM looking towards B. Spike being delivered through Ramen right now. The very adept hands of Hazed. 3 members of TSM will all creep up together. Nobody's up there right now, at least not that they're going to see.
Yeah, and it looks like they're going to be able to get themselves towards ropes too if they decide to commit to that. There is a tripwire in there, so they're going to have to consider that moving forward. If they decide to commit, it looks like they will back off.
You saw the cam was also put up by none other than Hazed, just inside of vents. So if anybody wants to flank through mid, should it end up being a B take, well then they'll have some eyes on it. Leviathan's over towards A. Will his teammates join him? That's the real question. Bottom of ramps, he'd seen one by screens. A pre-fire one out, didn't connect with anything. 30 seconds left, though, so TSM will have to do something, and they're going to just decide to charge on in. Wardell will wait and watch for the link in the connector. That's where Shanks is playing from. He gets gunned down by Bang. Wardell finds one of his own, but Poi strikes back on this site. Boy, oh boy, this Cypher play has been so strong. He's got the bad angle on that one, though. Hazed ends up winning out on the duel. And he'll try to cut off a push from spawn. Leviathan still playing in mid. Wardell with only 4 seconds left gets that spike down. Derek peeks around. Superman's on that one as well. Wardell has 2 targets, can't connect. Leviathan in a 1v2 post-plant. Setting onto the spike. He sees some shots through the wall. He'll have to swing right onto Superman, but no! Rise really like this half. He'll go up. It's 3 rounds in a row, yet to drop one on the second half, and they now trail TSM by 1 round yet again.
Now TSM's gonna be a really bad spot, as that was their first rifle round, and now they find themselves on a serious back foot. Just a round shy actually of being even in the count overall. So a couple things there, Parker. Once again, we're seeing TSM overcommitting or too quickly committing to the site not being faked out. I mean, you decide to put Leviathan by A main, and you tell him, all right, late push into A to fake out the push, and he does. But then just as players like Shanks are rotating off B, TSM commit, and then Shanks is like, he's barely off the site. He's like, oh, I'll just come back. And that just makes TSM's job that much harder. A few more seconds of waiting before they try to go for that second punch, and it could be a lot more successful.
Leviathan once again will lead the charge now over towards ramps. Tons of utility being expended right now. Neptune firing away through it, can't connect. Wardell knives out, he jumps in, shot down by Neptune, and now Shanks is blinded in that position. Nice shot from Sabrosa. Down goes Shanks. Sabrosa immediately peels off, but there'll be 2 different members of Rise that'll go to the top of ramp. Sabrosa's dog should be able to find that. Paint shells, though, almost costing him his life. Sabrosa has no choice but to back away.
Oh, let's give me 2 big kills for Rise on the retake. Down goes Sabrosa in hell, and it's just Hayes now with the Sheriff. He won't be able to land the shots. And there you go, yet another round for Rise. They are really loving this defense. We talked about how it's a defender-sided map, and, well, that is showing true here.
A tie game now, and there's no real safety net for TSM at this point. Rise have been able to stitch 4 rounds together, and this is a seesaw of a game. You had TSM taking that early lead. Rise clawed it back. TSM ends the first half with the momentum that they wanted. Mental momentum, if you can call it that. And now the second half, well, you can see at the bottom of your screen the story that it tells. Only 4 rounds of the 16 that have been played thus far have gone in favor of the attacking team. That is not ideal. And yes, you did. I want this on the record. You did indeed say that this was going to be a defender-sided contest much earlier on. So you were prophetic in that one.
Well, the stats do represent that from both of these teams on Split. It's just how it is. And I did think that, honestly, we'd see a little bit more lethality out of TSM on the attack. They have struggled so far. But, once again, they're given a chance. This time, Wardell on the operator. He could definitely get a pick with this, and then that opens things up for TSM. We haven't seen a lot of early picks for either team. We've seen them happen, mind you. It's just uncommon. A lot of mosh pits in terms of gunfights so far through this match.
Just turn a phrase there on that one too. It really does paint the picture. Well, talk about scouting now. Sabrosa's Trailblazer will go up, get shot away. I think the call right now is still try to take mid and then keep going all the way up top to heaven. Be blocked off by the Astra, immediately falls away. Wardell will take point. Nobody from Rise is going to give him an inch at all. Sucked into that gravity well, though. Neptune is 0 for 3 with the showstopper so far, but at least he's doing some spacing and possibly trying to act as aerial denial. Neptune, no gun in hand is good enough if the explosives aren't. TSM, though, take the lead in the gunfights. Leviathan and Hayes, the 2 credited with that. Neptune shot down, 1 for Shanks. But it's Shanks now against the world. In the 1v3. We'll wait to see if Wardell's going to move as the spike goes down. Ooh, he's got a lot that he needs to do. I don't know if they've heard his spot, but Wardell knows exactly where he is. And TSM's going to take that one as they march so confidently into the site. They managed to deny Rise from having a lead so far in this match.
Now, finally, TSM managed to put up an attacking round. And one thing I'm sure a lot of you noticed there, that's the Seekers from Sabrosa that he decided not to use in the previous round. The one where TSM managed to get the post plant by A. He was in a position where it actually would have been very impactful. Possibly could have won the round for his team, despite them having the pistols, because they were still up at that point. But he decided to keep it in his pocket, and the Seekers definitely helped a lot on that B entry. And also, yeah, you pointed it out as it happened. Neptune's lack of success with the Showstopper has been real rough for Rise, no matter the half.
Unlucky start for TSM on that round, as that's a pretty free kill that we see come in, and Hazed is down.
Huh? We're talking
Used
about how
neural theft 2 rounds previously, if my memory serves me correctly.
yeah.
So it's not like there's not like an ultimate that's sitting waiting on the board. In terms of ult abilities, Rise right now has the commanding lead in that one, but an answer back as 2 of TSM's guns now find their marks. Poised still inside of the cage, trying to fire away on Leviathan. Can't do it. Bang credited with that kill. The retake onto the site from above from Rise, not working out. Shanks with 1 kill. Bang finds his 3rd. Derek, though, one of his own. Spike is planted, so the clock will now start to tick away, and Derek will have to find the tiny bit of HP that Bang has. Sabrosa will try to get to him. Bad target prioritization. As Sabrosa wanted to go for the heal, and he got some of it off. Bang credited with that kill, and TSM takes their 2nd in a row.
Exactly right, Parker. Poor prioritization on the targets there, because we actually saw, Sub Rosa didn't even have his gun out right there. That's the potential to get a free 2-piece. I mean, he's trying to heal up Bang, and it worked out as Bang was able to win his fight and stop that from going any further. Also, I believe a 4K for him in the round. Yeah, there it is. Well played to Bang, really being in the right place at the right time and not missing those crucial shots to get the refrags on all of his falling teammates in B. Once again, talk about those mosh pits. That's one of them that we just saw. Also, worth noting, Rise did get that early pick. Those aren't happening a lot, and despite that, they couldn't translate it to a round win.
Well, TSM's been finding some success now that they're just bulldozing their way through the B site, and it's yet again where it appears to be the focus of TSM. Leviathan does like to play this lurker role, though, and he on many occasions has been off on his own, tasked with distracting as this Viper or even engaging without the utility of his teammates, and he's been very successful in that regard. In fact, for Leviathan, it's a bounce back from what must have been a disappointing performance in the matchup against Envy. Leviathan actually tying Bang with the worst KD and had the lowest kills on the team with only 28 despite all those rounds that were played.
We do see, as you can see, we have Sabrosa in vent, so he's got that control, and that means he's got the rotation cut off through mid, which is why it seems like TSM might be setting up for an A take, but they're going to back off of that. This is going to be possibly an A fake with a late B push. At least that's where the spike is going. And 3 of TSM right now, as we actually have Hazed all the way in A heaven.
Sabrosa now will be up there as well. He might be able to confront them, but look at the clock. Not a lot of time to work with. They'll see the paint shells go out, and they knew this one was coming. Sabrosa's going to try to blind them and get some pressure, and he manages to connect. Poised credited with the very first kill. Derek gets one of his own. They're trading back and forth and back and forth. Leviathan in sight. It's his own. He's got plenty of time. 4 seconds left. Spike is down, and he can back away. Wardell will watch B main. TSM, well, they've managed to stitch together a couple rounds. They want to keep that going. Sabrosa will join the party now and be able to heal Leviathan back up. This is good for the staying power of TSM. Rise have their work cut out for them. Poised, though, taking some damage now as they are in the midst of that Viper's pit. Leviathan knows that if he creeps up, he'll be able to see Shanks. Very low on HP. There he is. Leviathan, the 3rd kill, a 4K on the board if he wants it. Poised will try to steal the round away, though, but he is desperately running out of time. You hear the click on the spike. Poise fires through. Sabrosa's the one to be able to get that final kill. And TSM are only 2 rounds away from sealing map 1.
And they get an operator out of that deal, too. They're going to keep that one and move it forward to the next round. TSM in a great spot right now. Now, the Viper's Pit was a bit of a risk. They could have possibly won without it, but the reason why we see Leviathan drop that is because of the low HPs they had on TSM. Of course, you're going to get one of them healed up. It got Leviathan fully back into that thanks to Sabrosa, but he can't heal himself, of course. So it was, even more of a risk to not drop the pit, and I think it was the right call. Rise had no real chance as soon as that happened. The fake out didn't work as well as TSM wanted it to. Again, they're just a little bit quick on throwing the punch after the feint, and it's not working, it's just, it could be easier, I guess is the way to put it.
Over the last 4 rounds, it seems like TSM have abandoned that A tag. Oh, Neptune! How about an explosive entrance to him in B main? Sabrosa will try to keep his team in this one, and it looked like he was able to do a successful enough job, but Derek will blunt that momentum. Wardell from above, you know how deadly he can be. Subbed out! A beautiful shot from him, and 2 to follow. It's Sabrosa now to equal things. 2v2. Sight control and spike in hand. This works well for TSM. Flash is going to go up. They know that the entry from Rise will come from Heaven. At least they assume one of which. No. Shanks had shot that forward, and now we'll try to go through main. I don't know if he'll be able to make it there in time. Yes, he does. He's on the ice wall, which will disappear. Trailblazer goes out. Wardell sees that. Rise know this is do or die. It'll be match point. They trade. Hoist versus Hazed. Who can do it? Intel for Hazed! And it's going to be match point for TSM.
Okay, first of all, well done, Hazed. Holding that out, winning that 1v1, and just perfect for Hazed. But that control of your weapon from Wardell, not just of your weapon, of both weapons. He hits the shot through the wall with the operator, putting the first target on low HP, switches immediately to the rifle, and now it's the transfer. Oh my god. Well played there to Wardell. You just don't see that kind of skill every day, and now, as you put it, match point. It's all pressure on Rise to keep themselves afloat, but they're doing it with no rifles, only submachine guns.
This one's going to be really, really hard. Your economy's broken, and TSM have you on the razor's edge at this point. So much of this focus from TSM we've talked about has been over towards B. And well, look at that. Spike is still in that particular area. There's a floater over towards mid. Sabrosa will be there, likely to try and join from Heaven. This is what TSM has done a number of rounds now, and it's paid dividends every single time. After that run that Rise went on in this second half, they've been able to muster up nothing after that, and TSM is now in this commanding lead, which Rise will need to provoke overtime if they want to be able to take map 1. A reminder, this is TSM's map, so things obviously working out in favor of TSM right now.
This mail control is going to be big for Sabrosa because he can cut off any rotates or any overextensions and punish them. And I'm not sure if Rise knows. Obviously, they're going to be holding it. Got 2 people in B Heaven, and even actually a third now. Here come the Seekers, though, on the entry, and, well, it's actually going to work for Rise as they get aggressive. Knowing that they have the weapon disadvantage, they're going to try and get close, and they do. 2 kills early on the engagement, and, oh, will it work this time? The answer is no! 0 for 4 for Neptune as TSM start rallying back. They are going to put themselves in a 2 versus 2, but look at this. You've got Poised and Superman with relatively high HP, and now got 1 rifle in the hands of Superman. Poised able to get Leviathan, and there's the second for Rise. Easy defuse of that spike, and Rise will keep themselves in this match.
What a remarkable round from Rise that was. They don't overextend on their utility. They keep their ults in their pocket, and they just win so well based off of that play onto Sabrosa through mail. He had his utility out. Seekers were going to go out. A flash would come out as well, likely leading Sabrosa to sweep through Heaven. There were 3 bodies from Rise Nation in that spot. And unfortunately, if you're a fan of TSM, Hazed is just, well, I mean, Sabrosa is just a little bit behind the 8 ball on that one, and it's read so perfectly by Rise. After that, they were able to steamroll. They held mid control. Yeah, they lost B, but then the retake worked out quite well. And like I said, they didn't need to use any more utility than they had to, and they did it while being almost broke. So a huge round for Rise, and that'll slow down TSM for now.
Yeah. It's also going to hurt TSM's economy significantly. And look at the utilities on Rise. Look at all those alts. They've got options. I'm surprised that Poise didn't even use the neural theft in that last round. Didn't need to. And they do need to take these ultimates and extend that into 3-round wins. They can't just get, overzealous and use all their, stacked util in 1 round. They have to be careful with the timing here. Now for TSM, they've got Wardell on knives, so he's going to be able to substitute those knives for a rifle if he decides to. Depends on how hard TSM wants to commit here. So far, they haven't committed to anything in terms of utility or in terms of their push.
Camera taken out.
Get out of my way!
There's a lot that's being thrown in right now on A. Seekers will go out. They'll be torn right through as TSM often favoring that B site now. Their attention goes towards A, and they're going to have to run into the judge in the hands of Derek, who's good enough for 1 before the divide goes up to cut them off. Just a little bit too far behind. Shanks isn't, though. He's quick onto the beat. He's blinded himself. Wardell's there with the knives. Sabrosa on the flank. He's up in Heaven. Spotted by the cam. Out goes a flash. Doesn't hit its target that it wants. It's a 3v3. The spike is going to need to go down. You've got 10 seconds left to pull this off. Matches on the line for TSM. Rise are going to try to stop this. A neural theft goes out. Wardell still has the knives. He misses. Poise is the hero. Neptune shuts it down. They are not letting TSM get away with this quite so easily. And this yo-yo of a match is now in Ryze's favor, and they're closing this gap in a hurry.
It's a really impressive yo-yo juggling here as it's up in the air at this point, Parker. And a tactical timeout as well, I'm guessing, here for Ryze. They still have theirs. This is... No, actually, it's going to be TSM, apparently. Whatever the case be, tactical timeout, so they're going to consider their options moving forward. Sorry, I thought they actually already did theirs. Like, I know we've seen two tactical timeouts, haven't we, Parker?
10 seconds left.
From what I recall, up top was that TSM took one in the first half.
Oh, yeah. That's what it was. Okay.
Yes. So
Yeah,
TSM had taken theirs in the first half. Ryze did not. To the best of my knowledge, Ryze has not taken a single tactical timeout thus far.
No,
Teams
they
get one
haven't.
per
They
half. So
They're letting the flow
TSM has
go.
taken their second now.
Yeah, the halves are muddling together here in my mind because we've been seeing such incredible action that I'm getting distracted by it. But the tactical timeout, I think, is well-timed here, Parker, as they need to consider their options for not this round necessarily, but the next one. Their economy currently is in a phase of transitory, so we're going to see them go ahead and do what they can with what they have, but the expectations here is that Ryze will be able to take this one.
Well, I mean, it certainly would suggest so. So TSM will gamble all of it on the very pivotal 24th round, unless a miracle happens. For those that might be unfamiliar with top-level Valorant competitive play, the goal is going to be for TSM on this eco round for them to try and get a pick or two, trade up weapons, and then continue to roll from there. It's very much doable. Ryze won their eco round a couple rounds ago, so they were a little bit better kitted out than TSM, I will say that much. But for TSM, in terms of weaponry, they're going to go for a full save here and then all in on round number 24, which means that you're correct. Ryze should walk away with this victory. Neptune blinded from above, but oh my! Frenzy in hand, Hazed will make him pay. Superman and Derek collapse on it. A second for Hazed. TSM finding the kills they need. Hazed is still up. Leviathan gets a pick of his own. Wardell doesn't see one to the right. Shanks is above. Down on the ropes, he'll go. It's strangely a 2v2. Wardell trying to land his shots, and he manages to outduel him. Poised is there, though, and it's Leviathan and Poised in a 1v1. Spike is down. He's got intel. Amidst this Viper's pit, Leviathan is trying to spray away as best as he can. Poise is at full HP. He still has some intel on this Spike, playing it on a very narrow line of sight.